Hello everyone. If I take a moment to talk about what I experienced in the last 3 days as I experimented with a 3-day water fast for the first time in my life. And first of all, what's the reasons I did this? I did it for, on the 3rd day, our body goes through a process called autophagy. And that usually refers to what your body does after it fasts, and then it starts seeking, as it's fasting, to heal the body by seeking out bad cells, cells that don't operate properly, or dysfunctional cells, and then recycles them out of your body. Also a chance to reset your gut flora, strengthen your immune system, a bunch of other benefits we could spend like 20 minutes on, but we're not going to discuss that. So, first time doing it, not much experience it. Not many of my friends have done ones that I was looking for to be as strict, and I told myself, with some knowledge, that I was just going to do a water fast, and the water was going to have lemon in it, and also some water would have some apple cider vinegar in it. So to make this a quick video, before I started this, I was 158. I do intermittent fasting every day. I have been doing for quite a while now, and that just means typically I increased my fasting window from sleeping into not eating when I first get up. Now every day I get up, I will have an array of vitamins and minerals and herbs and some green power powder, and then I'll also have coffee. But I typically will not have breakfast till a little bit later in the day or an early lunch. And what that does is that allows me to fast at least 12 hours out of my day. Okay? So started out 158 when I weighed in. And remember, weight loss was not a goal of this fast for me. I guess it's just an additional benefit to see what it does to I was interested to see what it would do to my visceral fat, and that is the fat around your organs. And that has always maintained strictly 5% for me for I don't know how many years. So I wanted to see if I basically did a fast, would that change my my visceral fat numbers? Again, that's the fat around your organs. So, and it did, not to spoil the surprise. So anyway, so first day was not hard at all, but what I didn't tell you is I do 2 lattes a day, and I'm a late bloomer with coffee drinking. So I didn't start liking coffee until about 5 years ago, and now I'm a 2 latte day guy. And I love coffee and all its benefits. I love going to different coffee houses, everything about it. I told myself for some reason I wanted to make this harder, which I shouldn't have, and that's a lesson learned, where, hey, I'm going to do this water fast strictly with no vitamins, and purely just from getting water. I'm truly going to have my body fast, and I'm going to have the additional lemon, and I'm also going to have the apple cider vinegar, which is also going to help too while my body is cleansing itself. Not such a great idea. All right, so at about 16 hours when I hadn't eaten, I started getting a really bad headache, and that was most likely from not having my first caffeine in the morning. And then most likely I should have thought about loading electrolytes, so salt, magnesium, and some other things the day before, probably to make my first day easier. So I was not very happy, could barely even concentrate or even see straight at about 20 hours. But it wasn't going to make me stop the fast. So went to bed, woke up with a different perspective on day 2, and also woke up 4 pounds lighter. On day 2, I said, why don't I try just some black coffee, because that will not break the fast as long as I don't add some cream to it and it has no calories. So I did that. Most of my headache went away. I also reintroduced an electrolyte packet, which was only 10 calories, which is not going to break the fast. that helped lessen the headache. Okay. So, and I will say the whole time I was never hungry. I was never hungry. It was more about mental hunger for food and just being used to the habit. And several times I had to stop myself from getting ready to grab something, even though I wasn't hungry, just because the habit of eating all the time. I love food, as everybody else does. So hunger was never the issue. It was always a headache from either, I don't know what I was missing, whether it was electrolytes, whether it was my body switching from glucose and glycogen out of my blood, no longer using carbs as energy, and switching over to ketones and switching over to fat. Maybe that's the signals I was dealing with, the switch over in my brain. But the only discomfort I had all the way in day 1 and day 2 was a horrible headache, and in the front and back, which made it almost impossible to concentrate. So thank God I did this on my days off from work. So on day 3, I could not wait till the end of the day, but I did, to actually start to reintroduce food. Now, the first thing I reintroduced, and I had a plan, was bone broth, chicken bone broth. And that made sense. That made sense to kind of reset the gut lining and then take a really high dose of probiotics with it. So it just made sense. What did not make sense is, I guess I'd missed food so much, about every hour on the hour after that, I found myself looking for the next thing I was going to eat. And because I obviously wasn't full and hadn't eaten for days, I thought it would be fine. So, again, wasn't hungry at all. Mentally hungry for food. So I didn't experience any discomfort with the bone broth. It was fantastic. But an hour later, which I probably should have waited 4 or 5 hours later, I did something else that has a good strands of probiotics and stuff in it, and that was basically full-fat cottage cheese with a company that only has like 2 or 3 ingredients in their cottage cheese, which is great. Did that, felt fantastic going down, but had a little discomfort. What I failed to realize, which everybody's different, probably in those 3 days, since I'm not processing in food, probably my gallbladder probably is not giving out anything anymore. The enzymes that break down food and your saliva probably aren't producing anymore because you're not taking any food. Your stomach acid's probably lower. Your pump inhibitors or whatever are coming in your from your stomach, or first probably aren't working. So I probably need to slow down how I was reintroducing foods to myself in order for my digestive tract to catch up with what I'm about to feed it. So a little bit of discomfort, not a lot, but my goal was not to have any discomfort when I reintroduce food. So if I do it over again, I most likely would have had the bone broth, and I would have waited 4, 5, 6 hours, and probably wouldn't have went dairy. I probably would have went more with like a nice cut of salmon or something like that, wild-caught salmon, or a few slivers of some beef or some chicken, something slowly into it, and then again 4 or 5 hours, something later, not hour, because the hour after cottage cheese, then I reintroduce yogurt, and then berries with antioxidants, and then another few hours later, 3 sunny side eggs up and avocado. Now, all these foods are fantastic for you, or great, but I think I was just reintroducing them too fast, and so that's the lesson I learned. And spacing it out a lot more, probably a lot better, and probably, even though I have no dairy issues, the dairy probably wasn't the best thing to pick to reintroduce first. So next time, probably do fermented foods or something like that. If I did not mention before, first day I weighed at 158. Second day I woke up, I was 154, so 4 pounds lighter. third day, by day 3, I was 152, so another 2 pounds lighter, so lost roughly about 6 pounds during this. Didn't look sickly or anything, just my body fat levels looked a lot lower. And I was correct. My visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs, for the first time in my life went from 5% to 4%. Now, I don't know if that means as soon as I start eating a lot, coming back, it will populate first before the fat under my skin does. My subcutaneous fat, you call that, under in between your skin and your muscle. I don't know if that's going to populate before my body fat levels on my skin do. But that's pretty interesting that because I had to use fat as a fuel source after day 2 or during day 2, that my body used that. I know that it used the fat for the fuel source because it went away from my inner organs. So I think that's actually amazing and very interesting. Okay, so what are my takeaways for this for everybody? Actually, it was a pretty good experience. Was the headache really almost unbearable and very painful? And I don't get migraines, but if I was explaining a migraine, and I did to some other people, they'd say, "Oh, that sounds like a migraine." I will not remove my multivitamin and some of my vitamins and minerals during the fast at all next time. I will not remove coffee or tea, as long as there's nothing added to it, from the fasting at all next time. There's no reason to make this tougher than it needs to be. And having that little bit of caffeine is not going to interfere with the healing process in me, and either is a good quality multivitamin. And also, I will front load the electrolytes before day 1, and then take electrolytes and the salt and everything once a day, every single time while I'm doing this. I hope this information helps anybody who's interested in a 3-day water fast or any type of fast. I hope you appreciate the honest review of myself, the experience, my inexperience, what I learned, what I didn't learn, what I'm going to do next time, and because there will be a next time. And the next time I do it, maybe a month, maybe 2 months from now, I have no idea. I'm going to kill it. And the reason I'm going to kill it is because there's no reason to make it harder than it needs to be. Like I said, next time I will have coffee. It'll be black. Next time I have tea, it'll be tea. It'll just be plain tea. Next time I will have my vitamins and minerals every single day. There's no reason for me to remove those things if it doesn't break the fast. And also, I will front load, like I said, the electrolytes. This will make it a much easier experience. And I got to tell you, like I said, wasn't hungry once, mentally hungry for food because they have it. Down here, I guess maybe the water was keeping me full, and just my body was handling the fasting not that bad. It was the headaches from most likely the lack of electrolytes, the lack of my normal vitamins, and the lack of caffeine. But if I would have addressed that probably the first day, maybe the second and third day would have went different. And that's what I'm going to figure out next time. So maybe we should consider this 3-day water fasting chapter 1, because there will be a chapter 2. So again, if this helps anybody, that's why I'm here. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Any comments, concerns, any advice you have to give me from your experiences, love to hear it. All of us can benefit from learning from each other. With that, I wish everybody the best on their fitness and health journey. Keep grinding, everyone.